3 labs. 1 website. 1 mathematical engine. 1 thesis, in 3 voices. The Precision Lab put trust and evidence in your hands. The Echo Lab put the reach of evidence in your hands. The Loop Lab put preference, what counts as a good outcome, in your hands. Together they describe an active inference agent the way the literature describes one. As a system whose dials a clinician could, in principle, recognize. In the Precision Lab we showed that turning one number, sensory precision, turned a stuck system into a goal-directed one. No new motivation. No new strategy. Just trust in evidence. In the Echo Lab we showed that the reach of evidence matters, not only its precision. The same agent localized faster when it could hear further. Same arithmetic. Different observation model. Different mind. In the Loop Lab we put preference in your hands and watched a stuck chronic trauma archetype heal. Not because we changed the patient. Because we changed the order of interventions. Ground first. Then expose. Then reframe. The mathematics is the same the whole way through. The protocol structure is the thing that decides. The bifurcation map is the screen we hope travels. It shows a region, the bottom band, where no preference adjustment can move the model out of trauma. And a region, above that band, where engagement reliably works. The boundary is sensory precision. The upstream variable for any preference-level intervention is the patient's ability to trust new evidence. That is the claim. Active inference researchers have been making it for years in journals. This lab makes it possible to point at it. All of this is callable. The deployment exposes a model context protocol server at /API/MCP. 21 tools. No authentication. Any language model that supports MCP can register with one URL paste and run the math. Which means the labs are no longer just a website. They are a queryable, scriptable surface for any LLM-powered tool. A clinician sitting next to Claude Desktop can say, apply the sequenced protocol to a chronic trauma archetype with this gamma A, and watch the model give them ground truth instead of guessing. None of this is clinical evidence. The lab is a two-state computational toy. The behavioral labels are interpretations of math. They are not measurements of people. The honesty panel says this plainly, and the citations point at the peer-reviewed work that should be cited if any of this is to be taken further. The lab exists to make one shape from that work easier to argue with. That argument is the productive thing. If this video has done its job, you are not now more certain about anything. You are more curious. You want to read Linson and Friston on PTSD. You want to read Smith on interoceptive precision. You want to argue with the parameter ranges, with the action set, with the two-state world. That argument is the thing this whole project was built to provoke. The project is open source, runs entirely in a browser, deploys to one Versal project, has an open MCP for any model to attach to. The whole stack, perception, valuation, observation, intervention, sits in a few thousand lines of vanilla JavaScript and TypeScript. There is no back-end secret. There is nothing to subscribe to. Where does this go next? Open questions. A three-state world that includes a liminal middle state. A continuous belief axis instead of two discrete states. Patient-specific bifurcation maps that a clinician could compute on demand. A version that runs alongside actual session notes, with appropriate protections, as a teaching aid for the clinician's own model of the work. None of this is committed. All of it is interesting. And the deeper question, the open expected free energy ending, is this. If a stuck pattern is mathematically a basin, and the basin's boundary is sensory precision, then the question we should be asking, in research and in care, is not how to push harder against the basin. It is how to lift the floor. Universal natural intelligence. 3. Labs, 1 MCP, 1 open invitation. If you build something with this, please tell me. If you disagree with it, please tell me. The point was never the conclusion. The point was the argument. Thank you for watching.